Why am I like this?
Yeah!
Oh my god, it's so cold.
As the weather's gotten a lot colder, I need to use my cheap Chinese diesel heater a lot more. But tonight is gonna be the first night. Woo! It's getting below freezing. Since I built out the van, so we're gonna see if the heater can keep me warm throughout the entire night. Woo! Oh my god, it's cold.
My entire body is literally completely numb. Good morning. All right, I've escaped hypothermia. While I've been absolutely enjoying this area of Idaho, Stanley, Idaho, the shopping here is terrible. I mean, for like groceries is what I mean. They have one grocery store and they have like apples and packaged meals, and that's kind of it. Like no other fruit, not really any other meat or anything. And I am all out of food. I've completely run out of food from actual civilization. So before we hit some trails today, I'm gonna run to the store, see what I can kind of scrounge up, and then we're gonna hit the trails and go to the mountains. It is rough in there. They did have strawberries though. I think they did not have them for the last like 3 days, but they have them today, so definitely pick those up. But for sausage, a tiny little ready meal, 2 power bars, strawberries, which I'm very happy about these, and chips was a whopping $34. Getting food here has been incredibly expensive over the last couple days. It always sucks because it's usually expensive and not very good, but it's worth the view and being in an incredible place like this. I'm so excited about these. Oh, they're good too. I haven't had good fruit in like a little over a week now. God damn, it's good. All right, oh, it is starting to hail. I was like, wow, that's some really heavy raindrops. So I was like, oh, it's hail. Again, I'm telling you guys, tonight is the cold one. It is cooling down. Hey there, I was wondering if it was possible to order for pickup.
Yeah, what can I get you?
Can you still do the breakfast burrito or no?
Nope.
Can I do the Western burger then?
Sure thing.
I am currently very, very hungry and I need an actual meal before we go off into the mountains today. So I'm gonna order some food from a restaurant, which I don't do very often. Before we go pick that up, I have to go fill up my diesel tank. I'm gonna actually back up to the diesel pump here. That should be more than enough diesel to cover us for the night. And now we are headed over to the restaurant, which is conveniently right there. There we go. So it's actually 3 p.m. now. I spent the majority of my morning editing, but I haven't had anything all day besides a coffee and half an apple because the apple that I got from the store wasn't very good. So I am starving. I'm starting to get a little hangry, if I'm gonna be honest. Oh, let's go. Got some bacon in there. Oh my God, it looks good. You put a little chipotle in there. Again, absurdly expensive. $23 for a burger is out of this world, but I kind of don't have a choice. It's either this or sausage that's 3 or 4 days away from expiring, or like the cup noodles ramen was in there as well. So yeah, this is the best option for sure. You never know how restaurant food is going to be in these small towns, but every once in a while, blow you away. Down the freaking hatch, boy. Oh, it's nap time. That was a lot of carbs. Okay, let's get going.
To the people, spread it across the country. Labels out here, now they can't tell me nothing. We give it to the people, spread it across the country.
Here we go back, this is the moment. Tonight is the night, we'll fight till it's over. So we put our hands up like the ceiling can't hold us. Like the ceiling can't hold us. Here we go back, this is the moment. Tonight is the night, we'll fight till it's over. So we put our hands up like the ceiling can't hold us. Like the ceiling can't hold us.
Nah, can I kick it? Thank you, yeah, I'm so damn grateful. I grew up really wanna go fronts, but that's what you get when Wu-Tang raised you. Y'all can't stop me, go hard like I got an 808 in my heartbeat. And I'm eating at the beat like it gave a little speed to a great white shark on Shark Week. Time to go up, gone, deuces goodbye. I got a world to see, and my girl, she wanna see Rome. Caesar make you a believer, nah, I never ever did it for a throne. That validation comes from giving it back to the people. Now, sing this song and it goes like, raise those hands, this is our party. We came here to live life.
Now, as absolutely incredible of a camp spot that this is, I don't have service and I absolutely need service tonight. So unfortunately, I'm gonna have to go back to the camp spot that I was at tonight, but I mean, just look at this spot, it's incredible. I mean, how often can you get that kind of view from a campsite? This part of Idaho is so incredibly awesome, not just because of the spectacular beauty, but I mean, I've probably seen over 100 campsites today that are completely free to use and have incredible views. It's a van lifer's dream out here. Man, it must be a big glacier melt day or something, because this water is so much more blue than it's been the last couple days. I also could not be upset for having to leave the other spot, because this is like still a premium A1 campsite. The good news is the reason I have to have service today is because I'm talking with someone to get a Starlink, so I can finally go into the middle of nowhere for an extended amount of time and have internet, be able to upload videos, be able to talk to people, all that kind of good stuff. It'll also be very nice not to have to find Wi-Fi to upload videos. That's the hardest thing to do, and like yesterday I had to go to the library twice in town to upload videos, and it was like 2 hours total. So Starlink will be much, much better. And also, whenever you're in a van this old and it could possibly break down without you having service, even with my WeBoost, it seems to be a little safer to always have internet access in case I were to break down in the middle of nowhere. I could actually contact someone. Let's turn on this diesel heater because it's getting cold. Tonight it's getting to 29 degrees, so we're officially below freezing, and we're going to use my diesel heater because I did get another comforter, another heavy blanket, as I showed in one of my last videos, but it's preferable to have the entire van warm, because even if I'm warm under the blankets, it's still freezing the second I get up in the morning. And in general, of course, it's a much more comfortable sleep if I'm surrounded in like a 60-degree van. So we're gonna see if it works. I've ran it for like 5 or 6 hours during the daytime before, but never overnight. So we're gonna see if it works. It should, but I gotta make sure it stays above a certain temperature. As you probably saw earlier, this is actually the fuel tank for my diesel heater. A lot of setups have it inside the van. That's because that's what the kit comes with, but I didn't want diesel in my van for obvious reasons. It smells, it's sticky, it gets really gross after a while, so it's outside of the van, which is really, really nice. And the exhaust comes out right down here, which is actually super nice. It turned out being a really clean install because you can't even really see it whenever you're walking around the van. There's the exhaust system. It shoots out there and then it actually goes up into the diesel heater up there. One of the main caveats with these cheap Chinese diesel heaters is that you have to tune them. You have to tell them how much fuel to use, how much air to use, so that it doesn't gunk up and get all grimy and gross in there and eventually stop working. That's the main problem with these, is that these stop working after a while because people don't tune them correctly and they get a bunch of carbon and soot build up inside the heat chamber. And especially whenever you're doing van life and you're on the road all the time. I just went from sea level to 7,000 feet, so you have to change the amount of fuel and air going to it, otherwise it's not going to last very long. Also kind of have to be familiar with stoichiometry, which isn't too convenient for the average user, but I've been tinkering around with it a lot and I think I've gotten to work pretty well. So essentially, turn mine on, you click on it, hit the power button, it'll start turning on, and I turn it all the way down, and that should hopefully get it started. Sometimes it takes a second cycle to actually get it started because, again, I'm still messing with the settings, so it's kind of complicated. As you can see, you can actually go into the settings here, and the hertz is the times that the fuel pump will fire per second or per minute, so you can actually change how much fuel is going into the chamber. That's your low setting, then your high setting for how much fuel is going into the chamber, and then you have your fan setting, so that's your low setting for the fan and the high setting for the fan. Oh, wait. And the high setting for the fan, you can see 4,500 there. So you have to mess with those until you get it to the correct temperature or correct stoichiometry, so it doesn't have a bunch of soot buildup and it lasts a long time. But I think I've done my studying. I think I've messed around with it enough, so I've gotten it running good enough to not destroy itself, essentially. But we'll see. From this point onward, I'm probably going to be trying to use it at night, and if it is going to destroy itself, it's going to do it much, much faster because obviously I'm using it to 8 to 10 hours at a time, if not longer in the next month or two during the really, really cold season. You can see it's firing up. That little symbol right there means the glow plug is on. You can see the temperature of the heat chamber is going up. That's what this temperature is right here. And on my phone, you can see that it is drawing a 120-ish, almost 30-ish watts sometimes to get it heated up, which would absolutely drain my battery pretty fast, but it drops down to like 5, 10, 20 watts once the glow plug is turned off and it's actually going. But yeah, you can see temperature is slowly going up there, and hopefully it'll get started on the first round. As you can see, it's pushing out a bunch of smoke right now. It's just been doing that since I've come to elevation. Obviously it's a bad thing if it's smoking like that. I try to run it really, really hot after I start it up, so it hopefully burns off some of the carbon deposits. Like I said, I'm still messing with this thing, and me constantly changing elevation makes it even more difficult. Yeah, but it just gave me an error E10, which is pretty, usually whenever it smokes, it does that. like I said, this thing is just a work in progress, but it usually fires up on the second time, so it's gonna go through a little cycle and then I'll hopefully actually fire it up. All right, give this one more shot. Okay, it failed again. It usually doesn't fail twice, so we'll see if I can do it a third time. I do hypothetically have all the needed parts to fix it if it doesn't start up, but it would just be really funny if the one time I'm trying to make a video about the heater, it just decides to stop working. Because I've been using it for like the last month at night times and in the morning. It is not starting up. It's the coldest night so far and it's not going to start up for me. What are we doing? Like I said, I think I can fix it, but I have to go outside and it is pitch black right now. So that'll have to be a tomorrow kind of thing. Or the next day after that, because I'm busy getting a Starlink tomorrow. I was so excited to finally use it all night, especially because tonight was going to be below freezing. Guess it's time to make some food or making some chili. That's one of the only things you can get in the can that isn't horrendous. If I turn this fan on pulling air out, it kind of acts as like a little kitchen air duct system. You can see the steam going directly out. You can really see all the steam getting sucked out over there. I've now tried to restart the diesel heater probably 6 or 7 times. Looking like it's going to be a cold night. So I guess this is what I get for going with the cheap Chinese diesel heater. The problem is the price difference between the cheaper ones, and the cheaper ones is like $200, $300. The real ones are like $1,200 or $1,000 more than the cheaper one. It's such a crazy markup. The real ones like the Webasto do all the tuning for you. They have a whole bunch of sensors and everything. It will change it for the altitude. But at the same time, I've heard of a bunch of people having problems with those. So, I don't know. I had this happen before and there's a little screen in there that gets clogged. So I changed the screen and it fired up perfectly afterwards. So I'll probably do the same. I bought like 10 extra screens. I was just hoping that it wouldn't do this right before bed, you know. Right, I'm gonna finish off my dinner and mentally prepare for a cold night. Oh my god, it turned on. It turned on. So I'm turning the heat all the way up. You can see that's the pump frequency, so as much heat as possible. Hopefully it'll burn off any carbon that was built up and that was causing a problem. But what I did is, as like a last ditch effort, I was watching video, I was like, let me turn off the entire power system for a couple minutes while I watch this video and eat, and I'll turn it back on in a couple minutes, maybe it'll reset the system and it'll start working again. And then it fired right up on the first try, so as I was actually, I was looking so forward to sleeping in like a nice warm 65-degree van tonight, and then to have that break for the first time in like a month was just hilarious. We're back on schedule. Always exciting, always an adventure. So now you can see the casing is at 129 degrees, 130 degrees. It's gonna probably go up to like 170, and as long as it's above 125 and below 180, it's good. In between those temperatures is the flash point of diesel, meaning that it completely burns, hopefully, you know, it's kind of hard to tell with these, but completely burns fully and doesn't leave any carbon deposits or doesn't blow in diesel at the exhaust. So that's a lot of what you do whenever you tune it. You try to keep it in between those numbers and keep it at the right stoichiometry. I don't have the right sensors to really test that, but we're doing the best we can here. Not only can the jacket come off, now the jacket needs to come off. I am getting hot. I was honestly pretty freaking bummed after talking about how much I've been tuning and learning about it and studying about it. And for it not to work, I was like, god damn it. But it's working! In that settings menu, there's a couple of settings I don't know what they do, and I accidentally changed one whenever I was filming, and I noticed that I did that, and I didn't know which one it was or what I did or what number it was on before. So that's why I thought resetting it might help, and it did help. So it was probably my fault that it wasn't working to begin with. But either way, I'm not going to complain because I get a nice warm van tonight. After a couple minutes of having it on, we're at a nice and toasty 73 degrees in here. Oh yeah, I think I forgot to show this, but that's actually where the heat comes out. It's in like the bottom right-hand corner of my main little bench seating area here. The heater is back there where the exhaust pipe is, where I showed you guys earlier. And the hose just runs all the way up and pumps out the heat right there into the main center area of the van. It is so nice and toasty in here. All right, I'm gonna actually try and relax for a second. While I love making these videos, I have been working 70, 75 plus hour weeks for like the last month. So I'm gonna watch a YouTube video or two in the nice warm van. And I got a full tank of diesel, a warm night ahead of me, and then get ready for bed. Okay. Oh my god, I am so tired. I didn't sleep terribly last night. I spent the entire day yesterday in the van editing, and I didn't see any. I was just literally spent the entire day. Whenever I do that, I never sleep well that night because I like don't see the sun, and I don't walk or exercise at all. So yeah, I was kind of barely functioning today. honestly. I always know whenever I don't get good sleep because my brain literally doesn't work as well with the videos. Like I'll have to do multiple takes of talking and everything because my brain's just like not working. I'll get stuck in a sentence, be like, what was I saying? And I slur a lot more, like a drunk idiot. I did design this so with the bed platform folded down, there was a big old gap over here, and it's hard to see, but that vent can push air through up this gap and out over here. I'm actually running kind of low on battery. I had to use my AC power today to charge all my camera gear, and it's been super cloudy, so kind of low on battery, but I can still run the diesel heater and everything for the next 13 hours, so that's more than enough till the morning where we'll start charging up from the sun again. And you can see the diesel heater is the top one here. It's using about 6.5 watts on average, which is essentially nothing. It jumps up to 34. I'm not sure why it does that actually, but essentially it's using very little power. The heat chamber is at 147 degrees, which is perfect because it's in between the 125, 180. And we are at a 74 degrees in here and 42% humidity, which is super comfy. Actually, I'm gonna want it a little colder to sleep in, so I'm gonna turn the fan on and get some cool air in here. Yeah, this heater, whenever it's working, does a fantastic job. Even on the very low setting, it gets a little too warm in here. All right, it's about 70 degrees in here. I got the heater turned way down. It's almost as low as it goes. So hopefully that lasts throughout the entire night. We'll see how much diesel I use over 8 or 9 hours. Of course, if I'm using most of my tank over that time, it's gonna be pretty annoying. So we'll see. Yeah, I got some nice heat coming out right here, out of the vent down there. It's so nice and warm in there, and it comes out and it's hitting this container right here, and then it kind of just coming up. If this works well and doesn't use too much fuel, I'm definitely gonna be doing this for most of the winter, but we'll see. Either way, it is time for bed. I'll see you guys in the morning. It rained all night. Look at how wet and cinematic it is out here. But the heater worked absolutely amazing. It was actually a little too warm in there at one point, but I'm gonna see how much fuel it used because it's kind of gonna be the determining factor whether or not I do this more or not. No way, look at that. The fuel level's still right there. I filled it up yesterday to about here, and then now it's like right there. That's actually kind of nuts. It looks like it used probably 1/7 or 1/8 of the tank, meaning I could run this thing for pretty close to a week without having to worry about fuel, which it wasn't using very much fuel before, but whenever you use stuff overnight, it takes up way more. Like my battery, whenever I even have a small device on it, it takes up so much more power over the course of the night, obviously. Anyways, I'm already running a little bit behind schedule. I have to drive 7 hours north today in the van to pick up Starlink. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.